Where are you?
Here. Guys, welcome to my Batman movie series of videos. We're talking about a lot of Batman movies, all standalone live action Batman movies and some animated ones. We're not talking about the Ben Affleck movies or the movies that Ben Affleck starts in. We're starting with the Burton movies, Batman 89 and Batman Returns. We are gonna review both films here, and at the end of the video I'm gonna tell you which one I like the most. Let's start with Batman. Yeah, it's titled Batman, although I call it Batman 89, do not get confused. This was directed by Tim Burton and was the first take on Batman. The first take that really took the character serious, although there's not a lot of serious elements here, but like before we had Adam West. So, of course, like this one's like on 89, that was seen as we saw Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. This serious take, this dark take on the character. Michael Keaton was cast and a lot of backlash happened at that time. I don't know how big the backlash would have been if the internet would have existed at that time. But Jack Nicholson also was as Joker, which is perfect casting, honestly. The scene of the Ace chemicals when Jack turns into Joker, that's probably the first scene I ever saw of Batman in anything. I still remember, believe it or not, I have a lot of memories still when I was 4 or even 3 years old. Believe it or not. And I still remember my sisters telling me, they're playing Batman on the TV, and I was like, the fuck is that? And then I saw him and I was like, holy shit. And there was an impression on me. Batman is my favorite movie character. In fact, it's my favorite comic book character. It's my favorite character of anything of all time. I adore him. He has become a role model in my teen years and also in my adult years. But as a kid though, it was more Spider-Man and Superman, that I can tell you. With Batman, I really didn't get him when I was a kid because, I mean, one of the biggest issues actually is my mom. I remember when I watched Dark Knight at home and I asked my mom who are the bad guys, because as a kid, you know that it's only good or bad. But there's some people in Dark Knight that are kind of in a gray area, and my mom literally responded to me saying, everyone is bad. And I was like, even Batman? Everyone! My mom is a very skeptic person. So, of course, as a kid, I was traumatized. So, my views on Batman, my perception of Batman was not that clear. And even before watching Dark Knight, wasn't all that clear. And a lot of it also has to do because of the way that this movie shows Batman. I do have a lot of issues with Batman 89. I've never loved it. Even as a kid, I've never enjoyed it 100%. So I rewatched it with a lot of friends, and I still think it's enjoyable. I think it's a lot of fun. I think that Burton's directing with production design, costumes, is really awesome. When it's about the Batman imagery, there's a lot of cool stuff, but there's also some stuff that is completely outdated. My issue with the Batman character in Batman 89 is that I just don't find him that interesting. It doesn't reveal you the past, Bruce Wayne's past, until like half point of the film. That might be very interesting, that might be very mysterious, but I don't know, I just don't care about this character. And when he's Bruce Wayne, I mean, my friends literally were even mocking him that he looked like Rob Schneider. He's identical to Rob Schneider in Batman 89. Look at him, holy shit. But his Bruce Wayne is just so dull. The best scene of his Bruce Wayne is easily, you wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts. Without a doubt. That moment is really awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you, but other than that, boring. So yeah, I don't love Batman in Batman 89. So I just don't love Tim Burton's take on Batman. There's some cool imagery, there's some cool moments that he does. Easily, the best part of Batman 89 is Jack Nicholson as Joker. I really love him so much. He's so funny. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that as a kid I was very disturbed, but as an adult I found him very hilarious. Yeah, before becoming Joker, he's not that interesting. After those chemicals are on his body, in his body, he's really cool. Really, really fun villain. I would have wished that he made like a Joker voice, because he feels like Jack Nicholson as Joker.
Daddy's going to make some art, darling.
But Jack Nicholson, like I said, is perfectly cast as Joker, so it's perfect. But easily the worst part of Batman 89 is not Bruce Wayne, and some moments of Batman that, like I said, don't hold up, is the reporter's subplot. Although it doesn't feel like a subplot because there are a lot in the movie and we follow a lot of their perspective. Vicky Bale and Knox. Vicky Bale is a very boring character. Knox is incredibly annoying he sucks as a character. He has a lot of screen time, as Vicky Vale does. The romance between Vicky Vale and Batman or Bruce Wayne, completely boring. This is easily the thing that really drags this movie a lot. These characters don't work. There are a lot of interesting characters in the Batman comics, and I don't know why Tim Burton chose these ones. These are incredibly boring. Gordon also. The worst Gordon in entire live action movies, without a doubt. And he's in the next 3 films also. So outside of Joker and some aspects of Batman, all the characters in this movie are completely bland. Alfred has some moments, but outside of that, boring shit. Like I said, there are a lot of aspects of this movie that really don't hold up anymore. And I really don't understand why people love it. Because there's a lot of people that love this movie. A lot. Especially people who grew up with it, of course. But like I said, this movie really can get a little bit boring. Can get a little bit just like you have this face like, my friends were falling asleep. Because like I said, there's not that much interesting things happening with drama. There are aspects of this movie that I don't want to call it that I forgive them, but probably like I accept them because I understand that this is fantasy. But it's funny when Joker asks, where does Batman get his wonderful toys? And he's like, where did you get that fucking gun? Where did you get that boxing glove, you know? But it's cool. I like those aspects, you know? The Batmobile looks cool, but totally impractical. The bombs probably are the biggest enemy of this car. In this sequence with the Batmobile and Vicky Vale, which is incredibly annoying because she screams every time she's in danger.
You weigh a little more than 108.
Here you can find the stupidest line in the entire movie.
Who is this guy? Check his wallet.
After this action beat, there's a little sequence that I really love. And it's when Vicky Vale and Batman are driving to the Batcave. And I love how Vicky Vale is looking at Batman and Batman is like... And Danny Elfman's score. Wow. And the editing also is really good in this sequence. But Danny Elfman, his score is magnificent. His Batman theme is very iconic, but there are a lot of moments like this one. It's called Descending in Mystery, I think, something like that. Beautiful. Beautiful score. Easily my favorite moment in the entire movie. And yeah, Batman kills a lot of people in this movie. He kills like half of Joker's army in the Ace Chemicals factory. He even says this.
I'm gonna kill you.
Now the question, should Batman kill or not? He shouldn't. He shouldn't. If he kills, he's not Batman. At least not to me. Maybe to some people still, but yeah. Yeah, you can find some comics in his early years where he did some stuff that is very different from the Batman of today. But Batman is not one of those characters like Spider-Man that they got right instantly in the comics. Like they were building the character as the comics were being written to the point that he became the one we know. I think his actions, the actions that he takes as a character is one of the most interesting things. Yeah, the why is also very interesting, but what he chooses to do with it, that's even more interesting. And that's one of my biggest issues with Batman 89. The presentation of these characters looks cool. Joker, Batman, Gotham looks really awesome. But what about the depth of these characters? There's not that much depth. I'm sure when Burton was filming these scenes, the scene where he's killing a lot of people in the Ace Chemicals factory, I'm positive he wasn't saying on set, Batman should kill. I want Batman to kill all these people. He wasn't like that. He was just not thinking about it. He wasn't thinking about it. It's really that easy. He just didn't care about it, if Batman should kill or shouldn't. That's the way that I see this movie. I might be completely wrong. The focus of this movie is not about character depth. It's not about what the characters' actions are or what their motivations are. It's more like how cool they are. Probably Tim Burton read of some of these Batman comics like he did with The Killing Joke, because according to him, I love The Killing Joke. It's my favorite. It's the first comic I ever loved. I'm sure that he read those comics and he was like, that looks fucking cool. And that was it. I think that was his perception when he was shooting this film. Which is why this film is not that exciting, at least to me. Now, when it's about the revenge story, because yeah, it's revealed that Jack Napier killed the Waynes. And what does this do to the story of this film, or the plot, or the characters? Nothing. It feels just like a tacked on thing to add some tension between Joker and Batman in the third act. That's it. Doesn't change the characters, doesn't change Batman, doesn't change Joker, doesn't change the city, this revelation and this confrontation. Joker gets killed, that's it. Okay, cool. So that was my perception of Batman 89 when I last rewatched it. It was a fun movie. Now let's talk about Batman Returns. Something very interesting happened. Just with the opening scene alone. In fact, the opening shot alone. It felt like a very Burton movie. Even more than Batman 89. But there was some care dedicated to the sequences, to the shots, to the editing, to the acting, to the presentation of the movie that felt very close to Tim Burton's heart. There are a lot of moments of real tension in Batman Returns, like the moment Selina is being kind of harassed by his boss, played by the incredible Christopher Walken, by the way. And yeah, this movie was very controversial at its time. It had a lot of disturbing imagery, it had a lot of sexy imagery and sexy suggestions.
I'd like to fill her void.
It's a very bonkers movie. And I really liked it. I really liked it this time around. When I was a kid, both films were interchangeable to me. Like, both films, I had a lot of fun with them. But if you ask me as a 5-year-old which one I preferred, I was like, I don't know which one I really like more. As an adult, I really like Batman Returns. Like, I really liked it. I think the character work here is really cool. Multiple villains in a comic book movie. When does that work? Well, there are times that it does work. Catwoman. Let's talk about her because I think she's the best part of these two films, without a doubt. I adore Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. She's perfection. She's incredible. She's so charismatic and so psychopathic. She's awesome. There are a lot of moments with Catwoman that are so incredible.
Meow.
But there are also some aspects of her character that feel very cathartic, like the taser stuff. When Batman saves Selina Kyle from one of Penguin's soldiers, if you want to call it, she picks up the taser he was threatening her with. When he's unconscious, she uses it on him. And she's like, oh, ooh, wow, power. And he creates this beautiful circle at the end of the movie when she uses it to kill Shrek, which is one of the most disturbing deaths I've seen in a comic book movie. The Penguin, the fucking Penguin, Danny DeVito as Penguin. When it's about Catwoman and Joker, I really don't feel that the characters, especially Catwoman is not that similar to the comics. If you think about it, Catwoman is very different. She's not a psychopath. She doesn't have the same origin. You could call her a different character from the comics. But she's an amazing character still here. But Danny DeVito's Penguin, he's the Penguin. He's really awesome. Yeah, he's different from the comics in some aspects. Some aspects that are very Tim Burton-like, which I adore. But when it's about the essence of his character, and that's a word that I'm gonna use a lot in these reviews, and that's essence. Because that's the thing that I care the most about when it's about adaptations. And it's capturing the essence of characters, of a world, or of a story. And when it's about the Penguin, even though there's a lot of differences from the comics, the essence of the character is here. And it's also incredible that we see the birth of the Penguin and also his tragic death at the end. That feels very sad. It's very campy with the penguins like walking like this. It's very heartbreaking. It's really awesome. I adore the Penguin Catwoman. But that leads me to Batman. This is the shortest screen time that Batman has ever had in a live action movie. And you can tell we have a lot of sequences that we follow Catwoman Penguin and you're like, where the hell is Batman? As a kid though, I never noticed that. Which is strange because I remember watching Batman Begins and asking, even though I was watching Bruce Wayne, asking where is the costume Batman, but I never did that with Batman Returns. I think it's because Catwoman and Penguin are so entertaining. Tim Burton really loves them. When it's about the character of Batman, I think he's a tad more interesting in this movie than he was in 89, and a lot of it has to do because of Selina Kyle's and Bruce Wayne's relationship. They really capture them really well. There are great moments with them. And Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton have a lot of surprising great chemistry. Better than the romance that we had, without a doubt, in 89. 10 times more interesting. That being said, when it's about Gotham City in this movie, it feels very strange. It feels like a stage play. And it feels very small scale compared to 89. And even 89 felt already very small scale compared to the next Batman movies. And as a kid, I never liked it. But as an adult, like I said, I really appreciate this movie. I really appreciated not just Tim Burton's style and Danny Elfman's amazing score once again, even more incredible and feels even more like a Burton movie. The score, the cinematography. There are also some interesting lines in the movie.
You think you could go 15 rounds with Muhammad Shrek?
Why is there always someone who brings eggs and tomatoes to a speech? Just the pussy I've been looking for.
In my school, when they always brought the projector to our classroom, I always did that against the light. There are also great explosions in this movie, by the way. The Penguin's Army, also I think it's very funny, but very imaginative. I think this line is also very interesting.
I'm just jealous because I'm a genuine freak and you have to wear a mask. You might be right.
But like the wallet line in 89, we also have an amazing stupidly line in Returns.
And Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up like Batman?
I also love the Nine Lives stuff with Catwoman here. So every time she gets shot or she gets pushed off a building, she says that she already used one life. So when Shrek shoots her, a lot of times she's counting every amount of life she has already used. 5, 6, and when she gets to 7, that's when she uses the moral kiss to kill Shrek and also one of her lives. So she already used 8. When she disappears near the end of the movie, and at the end, it shows that she's still alive. It's like, okay, she still has one life left. And if she would have shown in the third Batman movie, it would have been very interesting to see that development. We never got that, unfortunately. Yeah, this movie is really awesome. I remember that as a kid, the thing that impacted me the most was disturbing imagery. There are 3 moments in this movie that were very disturbing as when I was a kid. This Catwoman moment, this Penguin moment, and Shrek's face. This is the most interesting thing that happened when we were watching Batman Returns last night. And is that I lost a lot of respect for 89. Yeah, it's kind of weird. In fact, after watching 89, I already had a rating for that movie. But after watching Returns, that rating, that grade that I was about to give that film was lower. And Returns was even higher than what I thought I was gonna give it. I think it's because with the first movie, felt like Burton was trying to make a Batman movie, while Returns feels like he was trying to make a Tim Burton movie that happens to have Batman in it. It's weird, I get it, but it's better. Returns is a better movie. Not a better Tim Burton movie than a Batman movie, don't get me wrong, because I think Batman is more interesting here. I think the villains are more interesting here. It's just that Batman is not that much in this movie, you know? So yeah, Batman 89, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. While Batman Returns, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I really don't quite understand the love for Batman 89 today. If you grew up with it, I kind of get it. But I don't know, I feel that movie really doesn't hold up all that much. And I think out of the 2, Returns holds up much better. The characters are much better. Like there's no annoying, unnecessary characters in Returns. It's a very focused movie compared to that one. So yeah, I think Returns is better. Next video in this series is gonna be about an animated movie that a lot of people love. In fact, a lot of people actually say it's the best Batman movie ever made. And I get it. I can't wait to talk about it because I also love it. Guys, as always, thank you for watching and take care of your time.
How much do you weigh?
About 108.